I'm staring off into my balcony area because it's a weird time right now. There is sun, but there are rainy clouds. So it's one of those contradictions where it's like definitely gonna rain again, but there's pockets of nice right now. So I'm gonna make use of it. I actually accidentally timed it correctly because I was doing my makeup and it was pouring. So I was like, damn it. All right, so let's just get going. So I wanted to tell you a little story about the Target parking lot that I was just at. Now, the Target parking lot is arranged okay for a certain amount of traffic. It's like an area where it's like a college town, and there's like a lot of like little like shops and stuff by this Target, and so it's like a little popular area that people go to. And the Target is frequented by the university students, so it's pretty popular. It's not like one of those weird out of the way Targets. So there's 2 lanes to get in, 2 lanes to get out, and multiple stops. And then on the cross sections where there's other shops, you have to wait a ton of time in order to get to Target, or to get out of Target, or to get wherever you're going. So the point is, it's pretty clogged up when there's an overflow, or when there's a holiday, or when something is happening where a lot of people are getting out of work. But there's certain obvious times where the 2-lane traffic is just plenty, and so there's no problem. You can get in and out. So I have frequented that space to go get my whatevers of the day enough times to like get angry at sitting in traffic, to get annoyed at people like cutting me off and clogging it up even more, and just like people not waiting, people doing whatever they want to do in order to get further ahead in the traffic lane so they can get into interstate traffic sooner. So what I'm trying to say is, because I don't like waiting, and because I do not like following what everybody else does, sometimes I get curious if there's a back way, if there's a shortcut. It's actually a longer cut to most people, but a shortcut actually in the waiting time. I decided to just kind of like drive around one day, and instead of just waiting in the traffic that is directed, like the traffic flow is clearly directed because it's like the most the signage, like go here, wait here, there's lights, like it's purposeful that you're supposed to go there, and it's very obvious that it's like the most efficient way to get in and out. But that's if conditions are correct, right? That's if there's not a ton of people. That's if people are obeying traffic laws. That's if people are nice and not dickheads, and you know what I mean? That's if all those things. So I just go around and I go by these other shops, and all of a sudden I see that there's another way out. It's slightly more turns, and it's slightly like I had to venture out on my own and be curious, like risk having it be more inefficient than waiting. But I discovered that you could actually get out super quick. You just go back, pass all these shops, it's a straight shot, and then you turn right, and then you're into traffic, and then you're on your way. And like, I actually pass people that are still 4 or 5 cars deep that I would have been waiting behind, right? Like, I get to where I'm going quicker. What I'm trying to say is, I feel like things are nuanced, and because there's a clear path that's readily explained to you, it's not always the best path to take based upon your goals. If your goal is to sit in traffic and not to think for yourself, then sit there in the Target parking lot and have people cut you off. If your goal is to get home, you might find a path that does work, and you'll use it. You'll know when to use the shortcut that's actually longer but saves you time, or you can use the thing that they laid out during the regular time. Do you see what I'm saying? I don't know if I'm just like over explaining this or not explaining this enough. That's kind of like a thing in my brain. What I'm trying to say is, dating is kind of like that. I feel like everybody is told this is the path, but some people are sitting in traffic, and you don't know that you're sitting in traffic in a wasteful situation because you didn't venture out on your own. You're listening to like the gurus on YouTube. I'm not a guru on YouTube. I'm a person that's trying to tell you to like think in a nuanced way. These gurus on YouTube, they are thinking in terms of how to best explain a difficult concept boiled down into something that a lot of people can understand, a lot of people can think makes sense, and a lot of people can follow so that they can get a lot of YouTube advertising money and followers, and they can have a bigger bank account, and they can make a career out of being a YouTube dating guru. So I find that a lot of YouTube dating gurus are actually doing some harm. And I'm saying that because I'm realizing in real time the things that people are overcorrecting. So I don't know where the hell like high value thing came from. I don't know if that's an Andrew Tate thing or that's like there's like this Matt Hussey guy or something. Like there's very popular dating gurus who think that they know everything. So for women and for men, okay? And so I can see where like in real time people that are matching with me are like correcting or self-correcting, but they're self-correcting so hard that it doesn't make sense in the real world. And like the logic doesn't make sense in the real world. Just like sitting in the well-designed parking lot behind 50 different people when you could just go the back way doesn't make sense either if you're trying to get home at a certain time. It makes sense if you have all the time in the world and you don't really care. Do you see what I'm saying here? So I feel like if I make these videos so that you can see when I'm sitting in traffic and it's okay because the traffic is going to take like no time at all and it makes sense to like follow what everybody else is doing because the logic makes sense. Or I'm like, the logic does not make sense. I'm gonna find my own way and I'm gonna develop a nuanced way to think this out, right? So as I swipe, I'm like telling you the exceptions to my rules, telling you when I have a rule, why the rule exists. Am I trying to stay alive or am I trying to find intrigue? Am I trying to find stability? What am I trying to find? I'm not just trying to tell you, this is the way you're supposed to do it. And because that doesn't really work for everybody, but I feel like that works to build a YouTube guru's channel, to tell you that. And so mine is confusing, or you know, it's not clear and it's not popular and it's just whatever, but I want to like make it known that like I see the correction that people are doing. So I know that there are people that like, there's women who make YouTube videos about how to be an elegant woman, a soft feminine woman, one that like makes men wait for their sex, and one that makes men wait for all kinds of things in order to have them spend money, in order to be super invested in all this crap. You know what that gets you? That gets you dudes that don't want to spend any money on me as I go out on dates. They're so stingy, but like people are still really stingy because they don't want to be used by these people who are like, hey, can you pay for my pedicure? Can you pay for my manicure? It's like, I would never ask a random person. I would never ask even my like boyfriend to like do that. I would take it if they offered, but you know what I mean? That's how like that weird self-correction happened. All of a sudden you get women asking for the fucking moon, and then all of a sudden you get men being like, well, I'm actually not getting out of anything from this, from spending money on a princess treatment. What the hell is that? I didn't even know that crap existed until I started seeing the weird behavior from people in self-correcting mode, right? The other self-correcting mode is like, there's guys who are like, they want you to have sex with them the second sentence in. It's like, I don't even know you yet. So it's like, they're so trying to like just be over aggressive on the sexual side because it's filled into women's heads that like, if you want somebody to take you seriously, then you do this, this, this. I think that there's some good to that and there's some bad to that, right? But like, you're seeing the oversimplification of this general dating advice. Not everybody is a freaking narcissist. Not everybody that shows red flags is red flags to everyone. What my red flags are could be green flags for someone else and could be a perfectly great match. Like, it's insane. One of the things that happened to me this week was, I'd say I matched and we talked and we had a date lined up. And so it came to the date and I was just like, I don't know anything about these people. You know why I don't know anything about these people? Because from the time that they asked me to the date to the time, which was like within the first day or so when we talked, and then for the next week, they talked to me once or twice. They would tell me like, oh, I'm so excited for the date tomorrow. I'm like, how are you excited? You don't know me at all. And so I wasn't connected with them at all because we literally didn't talk. They like purposely didn't talk with me or answered me like after I'm trying to like make a conversation with them, they would answer single word things. And there's no connection there. Like, I understand you can't build like a super great connection before you meet, but like I don't know, I've been really excited about somebody walking into a date. And so I know what that feels like. I know what it feels like when a connection is built. And I know what it feels like when like I'm excited. And I know what it feels like when I'm not excited, and the whys. And so like people's preferences on saving all of their personality or saving all of their time wasted talking with me for the actual date, I feel like is a big overcorrection of the pen pal situation. It's like people talk too much and then they didn't end up going on the date, right? And so like it's perceived a waste of time. This happened twice now. I would wake up the morning of the date and I'd be like, look, I don't actually feel like I'm excited to meet you. And so if it's not a hell yes, I'm not meeting you. I'm sorry. Like the way that you communicate isn't like, it's not a match for how I like to communicate. And so therefore I think that this is pointless. I think that you are great. Like you're attractive. I think you'll do well. But like for me, you're not it. And like I really said it like that and they're just like, I understand. So rather than me going on the date and being like, there's no freaking communication skills. I can see the writing on the wall. I don't need to go on that date to see if they have communication skills. I gave them a full week in order to turn it around or to like show me something different or to like see if they can connect with me or want to connect with me. And it's like this overcorrection of like wasting their time. Overcorrection of like putting too much time into one person. And it really felt like there was zero connection. It was just arranging blind. I don't want to arrange blind dates. I'm not dating with the intentions of like a specific thing, but I'm dating with the overall intentions that I want to connect with you in some certain way. And so I tried to explain this to somebody else. I matched with them when I was eating at Whole Foods. I'm eating my sandwich. And I'm like matching with them and they're like, oh, hey, what are you doing right now? And I hate that question because it's like, I know that their next question is going to be, do you want to meet up right now? Mind you, I just matched with them. I'm not even through my bite of like whatever I'm eating. I just matched with them. I don't know if they're weird yet. I don't know if I like you yet. I know that I visually liked you, of course, like, but I also don't know if like your personality matches or like we even are compatible in any sort of way. So like I dislike meeting somebody spontaneously. And so I explained that to them because it eventually did go to like, hey, do you want to meet up right now? And I was like, no, I don't really do it that way. And he's like, well, I understand that, except for like, usually it goes that we talk a lot and then like we don't meet up at all. And to me, that signifies two different things. It's like you can't close the deal to actually get a date, or you just suck really bad at communicating and people like eliminate you before the date happens, right? Like, how is that my problem that I don't, like, I have to now do it how you would like? So I saw that he was in healthcare and I was like, okay, maybe this dude is going to be empathetic enough or like understanding enough or self-aware enough because of the professional setting that he works in. He sees all different kinds of people. And usually those people are trained to be more understanding. So I was like, okay, I'm going to explain the realness to him and I'm just gonna be like, I like to meet people, but I do like to see if we have chemistry. I do like to see if there's a little bit of intrigue, and I can't tell that from literally one sentence. I can't tell that. And I honestly don't think that it's safe to just meet up spontaneously. He was trying to make me feel like guilty or like lame for not meeting up immediately. He's like, seize the moment. Like just be spontaneous. And it's like, well, I like to stay alive. I like that's nice for you. I'm not trying to get killed here. It's not like I just know every single like place that is safe and not safe here. I have to use my judgment. And I thought explaining those two things, like it's a safety reason, but it's also a chemistry reason. And I like to just like delay it for like 1 or 2 days. Like who can't wait 1 or 2 days? Like why wouldn't you also want to like build something with me and be more excited than, I don't know. And like I'm matching with these people on Hinge. Like it's totally a different story if I'm matching with only the intentions to hook up. Like I get that, okay? I get that. But these people are more serious. These people are like matching with like the intentions of trying to see if there's a potential for long term. It's like, this is just not the way. That sounds like a bad time, and it sounds like an unsafe time. And he actually just read it and then unmatched me immediately. So I was like, oh no, there's a self-correction that's happening that's like, it's insane. What I'm trying to say is people will try to do this overcorrection crap, and you do not have to listen to them. You can date however you would like to date. If you have rules about the reasons why, because you don't want to get killed, or because you don't feel safe, or because you don't have the dating, flirting skills in order to pull it off in the way that they want you to pull it off, and you're just not comfortable with who you are or who they are or whatever, you don't have to do what these people want to do just because they're trying to be more efficient in a very strange way. The right person that is compatible with you, or will make you comfortable, or have at least a good time, is going to be compatible with you in kind of more facets than just personality wise. They're going to understand that you don't want to be in an unsafe situation. They're going to understand that you want to, like, they would actually want to like get to know you a little bit more than just like 2 sentences and then you go on a date. And so like to listen to gurus being like, you need to get some princess treatment in order to be like a high value woman, or like you need to spend $0 on girls and get sex super quick in order to be a high value man, or like all these kinds of like things that people tell you to do. It's just like insane. Spend your time like getting to know them on the date. It'll be like more efficient for your dollar and more efficient for your dating life. You'll, you know, like, in what world does that actually equal good dates? I don't know. But that's why I'm trying to kind of like talk about things before I swipe on people and explain a little bit about stuff, because I'm coming from what I think is like a nuanced perspective, even a nuanced perspective from my own kind of like standard exceptions to the rule and stuff. Like you see that I have a type, you see that I have like things that I'm looking for, but like I'm not making it so that you can like date exactly like me. I'm just trying to explain the things that I'm picking up so you can just do what you want with it, right? So basically a long way of saying, be careful of those kinds of people that are trying to tell you how to date in only like a very black and white way. I don't know. It's difficult, and there's no shortcut, okay? Like even in the Target parking lot, the long way around was the shortcut. I had to go mileage further in order to get into traffic sooner than the mileage, you know what I mean? So like everybody's trying to be the most efficient. You're trying to watch all these YouTube videos so that you can have all this knowledge about how to do it in the real world if you don't have time to like actually do it for yourself, right? Learn all these mistakes. You think that you're going to like cut down on all the like the different red flags that you would normally miss if you just didn't have any dating like experience. I think that you should get your own dating experience, and I think that you should develop your own kind of like red flags. What traumatizes you could probably just be something that would not traumatize everybody else. I think that everybody has their own way about things, and like there's general things that you can pick up and follow, but there's also like when to go the back way that's actually the longer way, when to look for your own path versus what's laid out for you. Yeah, right? So I think that that's kind of like what I wanted to talk about before we did the swipes. Now, I have one Hinge potential match waiting, and I'm gonna save that for last because I looked at just his name and then I looked at just his first profile picture or whatever, and I was like, oh, this could be a good one. So I saved my yes or no for this video because I knew I was gonna do it. I actually looked at it when I was getting into my car in the Target parking lot. I was like, oh, this would be good. So the first one is, his name is Michael, and my name is Michelle, if you didn't know. And so like, I always kind of think about, oh, Michael and Michelle. It's like a French inverse version of my name, and I don't know if that's super lovely. Michael and Michelle, Eminem, I don't know. I kind of like immediately think, oh, I don't know about that. But then again, I can be open to, well, maybe he's really great, and like I can just get over the fact that his name is the inverse of mine in French, right? Like I can just get over that. So, but I do think that, and I just wanted to kind of tell you the weird kind of strange things that I think about as I see people's profiles. And I tell you this because subconsciously I could possibly eliminate somebody just for those weird things. Like if enough stuff is like stacked against him, like my initial, oh, your name is Michael, right? Could be like the reason why I click no, because it's very fast. Like I'm trying to give you an idea of what happens in my mind super fast. And so like, that's why I'm like, okay, you should have put the first picture at the last one and arranged it different if you wanted my mind to like perceive you the best. It's not like I want you to be a whole different freaking person, and it's not like if my name was Teresa and this dude's name is Michael, like you would even think those things. But like the little weird things you can't control are things that I still think about, right? Like the mood that I'm in, how annoyed with the dating world that I'm in, that I see this. And it's so like every single time it's going to come up like a tiny bit different, that like I have more tolerance today or like whatever. So yes, it is wishy-washy. Yes, it's kind of science-based. Yes, it's biological because I need to be like sexually attracted to a person. And yes, it's like intellectual based because I need to like be excited about like the way that they arranged it. And so I like to kind of explain all of those things. So the little Michael Michelle thing is sort of like this fluffy duffy crap that happens in my head that just like doesn't make any sense as far as like why that would be important, and it's super stupid, but I'm just going to be like, I might eliminate him just because of that, right? It just depends. But like, I'm going to obviously look at this whole profile. So Michael, the first picture is a girl, a guy that's younger sitting in a leather chair, and a guy that is kneeling beside the guy in the leather chair. And I can tell that the guy in the leather chair and the guy that's kneeling, they're related. I don't know if the woman on the other side is related as well, because she's really put together. She's got like very beautiful makeup, and she's got balayaged hair, and the toner in the hair is like amazing, like super on point. So what I'm trying to say is she's giving off I know what to do with my hair vibes, and she's dressed very nicely. They're all dressed really nicely actually. And so what I'm trying to say is because their faces are not scratched out like the extras, there should only be one person I'm trying to look for in the first picture, right? But because of all this context and I could see all their faces, I'm trying to see if they're all related. And I'm trying to see if he's trying to see, this is my sister and this is my dad. Or the dude that's kneeling that's older is trying to say, this is my daughter and this is my son. So I am going to guess that the girl with the pretty hair and the great toner and the guy sitting holding his beer that's younger are the extras. And the dude that is Michael, that belongs to this profile, is the guy that is looking directly into the camera that's older. And so I think that it's older. I'm so wrong. I looked down. I look down and like I see that the guy is 26 years old. So it's the guy sitting in the middle. So I was right though. I think it is his sister, because the first prompt is, when I need advice, I go to my sister. And we go back to the first picture. If this girl is really his sister, she looks like she understands about hair. She looks like she understands about how to arrange herself in a nice way. She looks intelligent because of all that. She's very well put together. Like, if she was a brand, like I'd say that she was like a luxury brand. So if he goes to his sister, she looks like she knows what she's talking about with most things. She looks like she's got it figured out, and she looks kind of successful. So therefore, if he goes to his sister, probably better advice than, you know, somebody that looks like they just like climbed out of a dumpster. I don't know. I feel like that's more, it lends credit to what he just said. Are you a dog person? Because he's got a cute picture of him and his dog in front of a Christmas tree. I'm not particularly attracted to this person, but I can tell that he has a good relationship with his family, right? So like, this guy's not ugly, by the way. He's like not like terrible looking. I'm just like not particularly attracted to him. The next picture is him skiing in front of a ski chalet. I think he's just trying to show that he like has diversified hobbies. So that's nice. To somebody else that would be like exciting, but to me it's like, okay. This year I want to put an end to my mom asking why I'm still single. There's a lot of his family going on. It feels like his family is like very up in his business, but it's also kind of cutesy because like they're clearly like a nice tight-knit family. Like what I said was, that's probably his dad, that's probably him, and that's probably his sister in the first picture. Then he goes to advice for his sister, right? It's kind of like a tight-knit family thing. So that also says like he actually wants to date, right? Like, this year I really want to put an end to it. He's trying. So the next one is, he's got a nice video of him golfing, hitting golf balls. And it's nice because it shows most of his body, and it shows how his body moves, and that's important to kind of have a diversified profile, like I've said, just because sometimes pictures don't do you very good justice. And honestly, he's like way more hot in this video than he was in his other pictures, which is kind of crazy. The weirdest gift I've been given or received was a vibrator from my aunt in a white elephant gift exchange. And he has like the peaky eye. So, okay. I feel like that's funny. But I also feel like that probably does answer the prompt well. The weirdest gift, a vibrator for a dude. But it also kind of shows that he does a lot with his family. Family dude. His next picture is again of him in the wintertime. Maybe he just made his profile in the wintertime, because one of his profile pictures was with his dog in front of like, or the Christmas tree was like on the side. So maybe that's why it's all like, all of it is like snow in winter, which is very strange because it doesn't snow here. So like clearly he spent a lot of time in the wintertime somewhere else. I don't know. I don't really have a lot to say about this, only because I'm not attracted to him, and like there's not a lot that I can be like, well, he should have done this better, or like he did this great. Like it's all about your preferences. He seems like a normal dude that like is spending time with his family. This seems like his mom in this next picture, and like it's just very family oriented. This would be probably a great match for somebody that was looking for this type of physical appearance or whatever. He doesn't say a lot in like his prompts. You know how like you can put like above like the picture, you can kind of explain a little bit of the picture, or you can like pick other different prompts. He doesn't go on and on in his prompts, so I don't really know about his personality too much. He didn't really actually fill out the main part of his profile either too much. So basically what he's giving you is, I like skiing, and if you think that I'm hot, then you can basically just look at me in all these pictures. That's what this profile is giving me. So I'm going to say no, because Michael and I are not destined to be. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So we've got this dude that is fixing something for a little girl. And the little girl, I can only see the back of her head. I can see that she's dressed in a super cute little lemon dress and she's got some sky blue Crocs on, and they're in a kitchen where it's like a little bit cluttered up, and I could tell that it's like a house kitchen versus like an apartment kitchen because of the layout and like how like the finish on the cabinets and stuff indicate that it's kind of like an older place. It's not the most contemporary, you know, the style is past this time. It's not a super outdated 1950s kitchen. It's kind of like a 1990s kitchen. I don't know, I'm just like looking at things. That's like the first thing that I see, right? I just see that it's like this, and he's helping out this little girl, and that's like the rest of whatever's in the picture. So it's important to take pictures obviously of your real life and like obviously of who you are. This could even be not his house, right? So I'm just like thinking of different things that I'm thinking of, and I'm just telling you them factually. But that's kind of like what I look for. I want to avoid people that like clearly live in like a dump. I want to avoid people because like I don't think that their lifestyle really matches well with mine. I'm just kind of like casually looking, and I'm just trying to see if this is a piece to the contextual puzzle. Just these few things. So a life goal of mine: to complete an Ironman triathlon while keeping my full-time career. What's a life goal of yours? I think that that's really good that he asks you a question too in that whole thing, because a lot of people can just be like, oh, I'm just gonna answer it like I want to, and I'm just gonna give the person reading it something. But he's trying to interact with you. He's trying to give you something of value about what he wants to do with himself, but he also is interested in what you're like as well. So I think that that's good. I like that answer. That's good. So he is, let's see, not from here. Interesting. So I'm scrolling down to like the next picture, and I realized that his first picture with the little girl or whatever, you can't really see his face. So I think that that's actually kind of an interesting tactic. Just from the psychological point of view, even if this wasn't intentional, if somebody is just scrolling through a profile, if you're given half of a face, but you're given like some context of what you might like, so the person that might like him is interested to see what his face looks like, so they would keep scrolling rather than X out right away, because maybe they like the father-daughter dynamic. Or even if they're not father-daughter and he's just helping a little girl, if you're looking for somebody to settle down with and to have children, you could be interested in that picture just by like how cute it is. It's very sweet, this picture. But like maybe you don't know if you like this guy yet visually or whatever, like attractiveness wise or whatever. So like I think that it's interesting. If you're going to have a picture in your profile, for the first picture where somebody first sees what your profile is, if you're going to have a picture that doesn't show your full face, give them some other context of the type of person that you're trying to entice. So if he's also looking for somebody to start a family, this was a great first picture. And then you have to look through more of his profile in order to get to his face. And his face happens like in the third prompt. And I'm not attracted to what he looks like, but he looks like a normal, nice dude. He has a great picture where it's not just his face. He has the background of the picture blurred. He has the majority of his chest and his face. You can see it clearly. He's smiling. He looks normal. And it's a nice picture. I'm just not attracted to him. So like if you are attracted to him, this is a great photo. Like he like did it well. You can see that he took the time to like make a nice picture that was clear. It's well lit, and he's smiling. The next picture is of him at a restaurant, and somebody else across from him took a picture of him while he's sitting in a booth. He's got a local sports team cap on, and so you can kind of tell what kind of dude he is just by what team he supports, that's nice. But it's also like not like he's wearing a mega hat. It's just a sports team, and he looks nice and he looks happy. you can see more of his body. The next one is, this year I really want to find someone to explore new hiking trails and go backpacking with. Do you have a secret trail recommendation? So this is the second time that he's done that, where he's telling you something about him, but he's also using this crucial time in the quick way to be like inviting conversation. He wants to know about you, even though he's giving you information about him. He wants to know. He's trying to like, whoever stops on his profile, it's easier to interact with him because he's giving you a question that you can just answer, right? Like, I feel like that's smart. I don't think I've ever seen somebody be so like intelligent with how to use their prompts. Usually they just kind of like answer them how they would answer them for themselves, and they don't invite the interaction to happen. So this is his second time that he's done that. Then he has a picture of when he was clearly younger, and he's at a football game, and he's giving you another sports team that he roots for, and it says, "Take me back." And you can see that he was, I personally think, more attractive when he was younger, but he's aged well. So like if you're into this dude, like you can, like, I feel like this is a great profile. And then his next one is, what if I told you that I've been secretly learning to play the keyboard and planning to surprise my niece with a song? Oh, so that could be his niece. But will I actually be any good? Question mark. I think that's cute. I think the vibe that he's giving is that he wants somebody more serious. Let me look back into his what he's looking for thing. He's into monogamy, but he doesn't have like what type of relationship. Sometimes it's like long-term, sometimes it's only short-term. He doesn't have that. He just is into monogamy, which I understand based upon his profile. So I think that that's super cute that he's trying to do that for his niece. I think that that's super on purpose that he's telling you that in a prompt. You can pick any prompt, you can say whatever you want, but I think that he's trying to attract the type that would be like, oh, that's cute, right? Like, it is cute. So if you yourself are looking for a dude that values the connection with children from a dude, this would be a nice one. It's thundering, by the way. So the next one is a picture of him on a street. It looks like he's outside of a bar, and all the street is lit up on both sides, kind of like Times Square is, except for like the signs say like Friends and Honky Tonk and stuff like that. So maybe it's Nashville, right? Like a main street in Nashville. I've never been there, but like it kind of just looks like that. So you can tell that he traveled. You can tell that he actually looks really hot there, versus the other pictures. But so I feel like this is a good picture, a good one. And then something interesting happens at the end. He uses this picture to show that he's got a hobby where he is a competitive swimmer. I would have never thought that this guy was a competitive swimmer. So that just goes to show that like you never know what kind of package deal somebody is going to be. Some variety of contradictions, some variety of interesting, and so I don't know. I wish I would have been attracted to him in like his main pictures where it's like clearly more recent. He's got a goatee and I'm just like not into it. But he looks like a nice dude, and I'm also not like super like, hey, let's settle down and have some children. So like I don't really know if that's the vibe for me, but like this guy has a great profile. This guy is interesting. This guy shows that he understands how to like lay it out so that it's a thought-provoking profile that invites you to interact with them. I feel like this was good. I'd say yes if those are my things. All right, so I'm just gonna say no, and I'm gonna go over to my waiting potential match, and let's review him together. So on my profile, I have a prompt that says, I'm weirdly attracted to, and I said, your hands, your sharp wit, and a freshly shaven face. Simply game over, you win. And then I was like, do people actually read this with the emoji that's like, And I did that because I was putting like the beginning part of like your hands and your freshly shaven face, and I was getting people with like 50-inch long beards or whatever. But I thought that it would be easier and a better time if people said yes to me who fit those things. And so that's why I added, do people actually read this? Because a lot of people, they use that to actually say, yes, I do read this. And sometimes I laugh at them because they clearly have very long beards, and like, you didn't read my preferences. Or people actually say like, I have a beard right now, but I will shave for you before our date, or something like that. And they're like, besides the fact that I've had a beard for like 10 years, that's also not the point for me. I want you to like naturally just like that for yourself. I'm not trying to change anybody, and I don't want you to like shave your beard that you've grown for like that long and that's who you kind of are, for like the potential of somebody liking you. Like, I don't want to change that kind of stuff about me. I want you to just like me. So like, why would I expect that from you just because I am open about my preferences? So anyways, I just thought that this was a smarter way to be like, please match with me if you fall into these categories, or it's at least a way to like talk about stuff. So a lot of people ask me like what my hand preferences are, because they're like, hands? Why would you be weirdly attracted to my hands? Like, are my hands nice? And like, we could talk about that. This is the prompt that almost everybody says something to if they're going to say something to one of my written prompts versus like just leave a heart next to one of my pictures. So people usually tell me that they read it. People usually ask me if I'm attracted to their hands, or people usually tell me they'll shave their face for me if they have a beard, that kind of thing. Okay, so he says, I do, ... I always find them so interesting to read, LOL. I do too. I read almost everybody's stuff. Even when I'm not making videos with you, I read almost everybody's stuff, and I find them really interesting, even if I don't find the person attractive. I find it really interesting to see what their mind is like. I find it really interesting to see if they're witty, what kind of person they're looking for. I just find it interesting. So I'm kind of inclined to be like, this person might be like me, right? If he finds them interesting, he reads them. This guy's name is like, I can't even pronounce it. And it's not because I'm like super like illiterate or something. It's just, I've never seen this name, so I don't know if it's like one of those memes that is just like a funny thing, or this is his real name, and like I will screw up being able to say it. So under the area where it says his name that I have no idea how to say, I am met with his photo where he is bending down onto the ground in this room that looks modern. There's a fireplace that is, you know, those fireplaces that are like the multiple colors with like kind of like the tacky colored stones or whatever that are in like RVs. It's not like a nice fireplace where it's got like the log and it looks very realistic. It's one of those places where it's like white walls and like this kind of like fireplace that you turn on with a remote. So that is in the background, but like it looks nice, and he's ducking down and I can't see his face, but I can tell that he's wearing sunglasses inside, and he's ducked down and he's doing something with a spider robot. And I'm thinking that he's a computer geek person, he's an engineer, he's some sort of person that works with AI. Like, I don't know, the little spider thing is kind of like the size of my Roomba, and he's doing something with it on the floor. But what I'm trying to say is I can only see that he has nice hair, he's a decent looking body from what he is showing as he's crouched down. He looks like he's wearing normal looking things, and I can't tell if his hands are hot or not, because one of them is blurry because he's doing something with his spider, and the other one is resting on his hand as he's like kneeling down. so I can tell that they're not super creepy. One of the things that I think is really creepy on a dude is if you've got like insanely long fingernails. I don't want you to have like Coke fingernails. That's kind of what I mean by like, is your hands hot? Like, I want you to take care of them. I want them to be like kind of like beefy or whatever. And I want you to like not touch me with like feminine looking hands, just because that's just my preference for like what I like or whatever. So I do kind of see that he's got normal looking hands. They're not like, you know, super long fingernails, and like we can continue now. Like dating me is like plankton from SpongeBob. Do you remember in one of my other videos where people talk about SpongeBob in their profiles? I don't really relate to that much. So I don't really know what this means. Dating me is like plankton from SpongeBob. What that tells me is that I'm probably not going to date you, but we'll see. He is from not here, which is interesting. He also works a tech job, which makes sense. That's what we guessed before. Now, his next photo is of him with the same spider on the floor, except for he is facing me with his face. He's crouched down, but he's facing me with his face, and I can tell that he's got a full-blown swirly up mustache with a beard. I couldn't really tell that before, I don't know why, but now that he's facing me, he's got red sunglasses on. I don't know if that's part of his spider thing, or he's just wearing them, because I can't tell like the brand. I can't tell that they're like Ray-Bans or something, so I can't like judge him if he's wearing red sunglasses or whatever that look like sunglasses, but maybe there's something to do with controlling his spider on the floor. So I don't know. I understand that I could not be understanding a lot about stuff here, but that's just kind of like what's going on. He kind of looks like a villain, to be real. He looks like a villain. And he's got this cool spider robot thing next to him while he looks at me into my soul through his sunglasses. The next picture is a little weird. The next picture is of him holding, the only pictures on his profile so far have been the same day in front of that same fireplace with the same spider wearing the same thing. So the next picture is him holding the spider thing, and he's pretending like it's attacking his neck, and he looks like he's having a conniption fit. And I don't know what to do with this. Together we could conquer this world once and for all. I added the mwahaha because I felt like that needed to be there, but he really just put 2 exclamation points at the end of all. I feel like my addition was better. It encapsulated his villain feel, I think. You know what? I feel like when people say like we could rule the world together, or like together we could take over or something, it's like I don't want to take over. I don't want to. I just want to live with you and have a nice time, right? Like I want to have nice moments with you. I'm not trying to like conquer the earth with like my little spiders, or you know what I mean? Like I know that he's being haha funny, but like I never really take that sort of seriously. So in this next picture, he's got how history will remember me, and this time you can tell that all the pictures for his profile were taken from a dude. Like his dude friend took these pictures. If they're not selfies, they're like far enough away that you can see this dude's whole body, and you can see his hands, both hands, so like you can tell that they're not selfies. So this 4th picture is again the 4th picture where he's got the little robot spider, the same day in front of the same fireplace, except for this is a close-up shot where he looks like the spiders killed him. And it's on his chest. He's laying down on the ground, and the spider, one of the spiders, is like the arms for the robot. And I say robot because like you can literally see like the motherboard and stuff. Like you can see like where it's got like wires and stuff. It doesn't look like a spider. It looks like a robot spider. So it's on his chest, and it's like in his nose. and it looks like he like purposely did this. That's why I say that it looks like a dude took these photos for him. So I don't know. I think that the vibe of this guy is like really geeky, kind of funny, but also like I got that in one of your photos. I didn't need like a whole profile full of this crap. But okay. Then he says, don't hate me if I nerd out on you every day. I think if you're surprised by that, you should learn how to go through profiles, because like that's very clear that that's, you know, what's going on. That's what's going to happen. My weekends look like, and then it's just a picture of him with just his face in the picture with his villain mustache. It's not as pointy, but it's very villainous, and it's very like curlied up. He's got some wild hair. I'm not really attracted to this dude, but I'm also kind of like, don't go full nerd. Like that's not really my type. I think you should go like 50 to 60% nerd and then have like a little bit of game. That's how you kind of like win me over. Never go full nerd. Are you a dog person? Because, and then he's got a robot dog. No, I'm not. So I'm sorry, dude, with your robot dog. I thought you were creative and sort of funny, but also not into it. So that's that for today. That's all I have. Hopefully I'll find someone to talk with soon and go on dates with, where they actually want to talk with me more than 2 sentences. I wish you luck with whatever stage of dating life or non-dating life that you're at right now. And I hope that this was interesting for you, and I will see you guys in my next video. So take care and be well.